like your voice is what makes you an actor, especially in The Lion King. And when you lose that high voice, it's almost like you lose a part of yourself. But I'm still on that journey to being able to juggle both acting and also living a normal life. Don't get me wrong, social media is amazing. You can do loads of things on it, but it can also cause massive problems, especially in the youth.
A quick note. The views and opinions expressed by our guests are entirely their own and don't reflect those of the Stronger Self podcast, Sammy Arts Collective, T Films, or anyone involved in making this show. We're here to hold space for honest conversations, and that means our guests speak freely. We hope you do the same. Welcome back to the Stronger Self podcast with me, your host, Martay McKenzie. And today I am joined by child actor Theo Somolu. Theo, thank you so much for joining me here today. So I just want to start by saying that it's so nice to see you again because it's been a minute. It's been about, 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, and I can't believe that it's the same person that I met on stage as little Simba in The Lion King, and now you're a fully fledged teenager ready to embark on GCSEs and everything. But let's go back to your days on Lion King. Tell me where that journey started for you.
That journey started for me probably through ballet. I used to do a lot of ballet when I was younger. I started at around 6 years old. My mum was like, "Oh, let's get you into that." And then I got told through some people that I was very energetic and I had to get into other things. So my mum, we were thinking maybe acting. So I remember we started off with we found out about the Lion King auditions. So we went to those auditions. I was just there having lots of fun, not really thinking that anything was going to happen out of it, just having a fun time. And then we got called to the second one. And then I eventually got the part. And I feel like it was a bit surprising, but it definitely did start there started for me with ballet.
Right, okay. So how old were you then when you auditioned for Lion King? How old was you?
I was like 6 years old. Maybe
6 years
7.
old, auditioning for the Lion King. So even in terms of at the age that you started doing your ballet, was you also into football, or was your mum like, no, ballet's the way, or were you just doing lots of stuff because of the energy that you had? You were trying everything.
I was like, at that point, I was really, really into football. I played a lot of football, and when actually to the point where I found out I had the part, I did throw a bit of a fit because my mum said, you have to stop football. I was really playing a lot of football there at the time, and I was really enjoying it, and it was going pretty well for me. But that's one of the things that I was really annoyed about because I had to stop that to continue on with the tour, especially.
Right. Okay. So you started on the Lion King tour first before, because we obviously met in the West End. So you started on the tour. Well, that must have been hard because at such a young age, you're now having to say bye to your mum. You're having to go off and travel with a bunch of people that, are not part of your family or who you know very well. How must that have been for one so young?
At the start, it was a bit nerve-wracking. I left my family, of course, at a very young age, and I couldn't really have someone there with me to embark on the journey with me, so to say. But the Lion King people I was with, especially other young Simbas and young Nalas, it was a great experience. They were really kind. They made me feel as if they were my family there for me. And also I did make sure to call my mum and my family every night just to make sure they were all right. But it was a big jump for me because I just went from being at home, having a lot of help from my parents and everything, to just being out straight away, performing up in Edinburgh and down in Bristol, away from my family. So it was hard, but Lion King and the people who were there did make it a lot easier for me.
Right, so was Lion King your very first show then? Like this, you've gone from like being at home, going on tour, traveling around, but had you done anything before to set you up to this point, or no?
No, so Lion King was the first thing I did, and then after, or like in the middle of Lion King, that's when I started doing like children's shows and stuff on Netflix. But the first thing I did was Lion King.
Right, gosh. So how long were you on the road for in total then?
Around 2 years.
2 years.
So it was very long. Yeah.
Right, so how does it work for people listening that don't know? Like, do you what about school? Do you have tutors with you? Like, what's the day-to-day looking like?
Yeah, so we did have tutors. So I got tutored when I was away, and also we would have times when we weren't on tour, so I'd go to school in between those times, if you see what I mean. But yeah, no, we did do a lot of tutoring, of course, and I did try to do some study as well, because my mum told me, 'cause she was like, oh, you got to study because you're away from school a lot, so make sure you do some stuff. So I brought down like some books and everything, and I did studying with the books in my room before and after shows.
Okay, no, that's good advice from mum, and that's good that you did it, because, you know, some kids would be like, listen, my mum's not here, she ain't gonna know. She'll know when the grades come out.
Yeah.
But
well,
so
to be
how
fair,
was that like?
She was. It was through like other people, so she'd get other people to make sure that I was doing the things that I was meant to be doing. So I couldn't really get away with it.
Yeah, she sounds like my kind of girl. But then how was that then? If you were on tour, then you were coming home and going to school, like, were your mates like, Theo, where have you been? Like, did you, obviously they would have known you were doing The Lion King, but at the age you were at, did you want to share all that with your friends, or did you want to kind of keep that under wraps?
I mean, I didn't mind sharing with people, because it's just an experience that other people are curious about, if you see what I mean. They want to know. And my mates were like a bit like, oh, where have you been? You've been gone for a long time. You've been gone for a week. We haven't seen you, all this stuff. You haven't been coming to school. And yeah, I mean, you do have to sacrifice a lot when it comes to, especially being on tour, you sacrifice a lot. So I missed a lot of like trips and stuff, like camping trips, which most people were saying, oh, it's so fun, they're really exciting. So I missed out on a lot of that, and I also missed out on also just basic things that an average person would be able to do. So you miss out on things like making new friendships and being able to go out with your friends and have those experiences because you're away on tour. So there was a lot to sacrifice, but no, I don't regret it. I really enjoyed going on tour, and if I could, I would do it again.
Because I was going to ask you that. I was going to say, is there an element of like resenting that in a way? Because even as an adult, there's stuff that I've had to miss out on from working, and then I think, oh, I really want to be there. Like, so it's nice to say you don't regret it. I mean, did you find going back to school, were there any people at school that were not kind to you because, oh, he thinks he's better than us because he's a Simba in The Lion King? Or was everybody really like, not your friends, but just like other people who knew what you were doing?
No, I get that a lot. I even get it now. Like, maybe I'll do something wrong or something will happen and they'll go, oh, it's just because he's in The Lion King, all this stuff. It's because he's gotten all this stuff. And I've got to understand that these people haven't experienced what I've experienced, and they don't know like the journey that I've been on, and they don't know like the significance of it, if you see what I mean. Right. Yeah, that's a hard one, isn't it? Because how do you then deal with that? Like, especially now as a teenager, it's a hard time anyway, like navigating through changes, whether it's physical changes, whether it's just the stress of GCSEs, and then you've got other factors on top, like people judging you because, you know, he's done this or he's done that. How do you figure that out for yourself? Do you go to your parents, or do you just internalize it? I just tend to ignore it, really. Like, I hear it a lot. At the start, maybe I took it a bit personally. I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. But now it's happened to me a lot. I just feel like, oh, okay, it's just another person. It's not that deep. I just suppress it, really, and just be like, move on with my day, because they can say all they want, but it doesn't really affect me. It doesn't change who I am. And as I said, I definitely don't regret going to The Lion King. So, yeah.
No, that's really good, Theo. I think what this industry's probably already taught you from a young age is how to develop a thick skin, because not everybody could take criticism like that from other people and kind of brush it off. So the fact that you're able to just go, do you know what, whatever, it doesn't matter, it's water for ducks back. So take me from, you've done the Lion King tour, so then take me to how you've gone from the tour to us working together in the Lion King, where in West End. Like, how did that transition happen?
Well, it wasn't really expected. I finished the tour and I was just expecting to go on into secondary school and just go, oh, here we are, I'm in secondary school, it's time to lock in, if you see what I mean. But no, I got asked to come back again, but this time in London. And of course, because the tour was so fun for me and I really enjoyed the experience, I was thinking, well, I could have both benefits in London. I could stay at home and be with my family, but also continue doing the thing that I enjoyed, if you see what I mean. So when I got the choice to go in London, I said yes, because I wanted to carry on. And I do really love the Lion King and the Lion King production in general. And I just wanted to carry on with that until they say, oh, well, you're too old now, your voice has dropped, all this stuff, you can't continue, if you see what I mean.
Right. So tell me about that, because obviously I've been on the show for a long time and I've seen lots of Simbas and Nalas come and go, but particularly for the boys, because, you know, the voice will change, and that Can't Wait to Be King, that note, there comes a point where that note is harder to reach once the voice is broken. So how was that something that you found in the show, that it's like, I don't think I can sing this anymore? Like, what was the reason for, you know, parting ways from the Pride Lands?
I mean, I was lucky because I finished before I had my voice drop. But I finished not because of like my voice and everything, but I finished because of my height. I got too tall. So I couldn't, of course, I wouldn't look like young Simba anymore, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, you look like you're playing Simba, you're the main Simba.
So, no, I was lucky to not maybe get a voice crack on stage or anything like that. But it is a bit of a shock, because you're used to singing, like your voice, and mainly your voice is what makes you an actor, especially in The Lion King. You need your voice because it's a musical, so you need to sing a lot. And when you lose that high voice, it's almost like you lose a part of yourself, and you have to learn how to use it again. So my voice, I've had to learn how to sing again, and I'm still struggling now to find songs that fit like my range, my vocal range. So before, it's a massive change. So because before you can sing literally anything. You got a really high voice. It's great. Your voice is like pitch perfect, and now you're struggling with a lot deeper voice, which can't really do the things that you could do before. So it's a massive change. But you've really just got to push through it, and you got to. I think vocal coaches are really helpful and all these things, and you just got to push through it and make sure that you can like focus on your voice and not just give up after you see that your voice goes down. You got to keep going, if you see what I mean.
Gosh, it's so interesting, isn't it? Because that's not something that, as a vocalist, you can appreciate the fact that when you've got a sore throat or your voice isn't doing what you want it to do, and you know what you need to do to get it to a better place, you know, steam, rest, whatever. But actually, from hearing you talk about, from your perspective as a young performer, that this is what boys will go through. Like, okay, I don't have the same voice anymore, so now you got to find your voice again. So how have you done that? Have you gone to like vocal coaches? Is there anyone in particular that you would recommend to some other boys that might be listening to this that are going through the same thing?
I mean, I did about 3 sessions of a vocal coach, but I ended up stopping it because I realized this was about around year 10. I realized that I need to focus more on study. Right. So I did those 3 vocal sessions, but then I realized, and I said to myself, if I want to be able to succeed in life, especially because even though I have come so far in the acting game, I'm still not guaranteed. Like, you could be the best actor in the world, but you could just end up falling off and you could get no jobs. And I realized that at the moment, schooling is the most important thing for me to focus on right now, because if acting doesn't go well for me, or I have a problem that happens, and I can't continue with acting, and I don't have those grades, it's not going to end up well for me in the future when I haven't got the grades to get just a normal job, if you see what I mean. So I needed to focus on schooling at that time instead of on acting, and that's a hard thing to do, of course, because you're used to acting and all these things and you want to continue with them and it's fun, but you've got to come back to reality sometimes and be like, well, if this doesn't work, where am I going to be? So I'm going to need to carry on with my study, if you see what I mean, get good grades, and then once I do that, I can carry on with doing what I love.
No, that's really a good mindset to have, Theo. Do you think, is that come from you? Do you think that's innate in you, or is this like also your mum going, look, make sure you've got something to fall back on? Because that's really, for your age, like, it would be very easy just to be like, you know what, no, I'm pushing through the acting thing. School, I don't need school. Like, I've got a son and he's already like, when can I leave school? And he's only in year 8. But, you know, for you to be like, no, I want to lock in on this, that's really admirable. Is that you or mum?
I could say 75% mum, 25% me. Of course, at the time, I'm in the like, the fog is over me and I'm like, oh, this is so fun. I'm going to be this when I'm older. This is what I'm going to do. And then my mum saying, but listen, it's not always guaranteed. And at the start, it was a bit ironic because my mum was the person who got me into this and everything. But after she talked to me about it all and everything, I realised that this is the place where I need to start studying and start focusing on my grades, and especially my GCSEs, because those are a big thing in your life, especially for your CVs and stuff for different careers. And to get into colleges that you want to and everything, or sixth forms that you want to. So no, I would say it was mainly my mum and my family, but there was a bit of me that realised that of course I need to do it as well, because I saw how much I was falling behind, if you see what I mean.
So you've done The Lion King on tour, you've done The Lion King in the West End, you've locked in on GCSEs and everything, studying and school, but we need to talk about the big one. So you then became the voice of, correct me if I'm wrong, the voice of Scar, am I right there? In the Mufasa movie.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, young Scar, young Taka.
We've gone from like Lion King tour to you now being the voice in the movie. First of all, how? When? How did it all come about? It's a big leap.
Yeah, well, it is a big leap. I mean, when you think of theatre, people go, oh, that's really cool, you're in the theatre, you're in London. But when you think about a movie, that's mainly the main part that every actor wants to make it to. So when you say, oh, I'm in the movie, I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So yeah, how I got there, I tried. It was a bit of like a shock because I wasn't expecting to, pretty much in such a short time as well. It was only about 5 years that it took me from the start of my acting career to end up getting into such a big movie. So that was a bit of a shock. I had a lot of help from my agency, Dub Juniors. So my agent Kelly, she was the one who got me the part. So I'm really thankful for that. And I mean, it was really amazing. I remember getting sat down by my parents and I thought I was in trouble because they told me to come into the room and sat me down on the sofa. I can be mischievous at times, but my parents were like, oh no, you've got this part in the movie. We're not completely sure what it is yet because of course they can't tell you at the time, but they said it's something to do with The Lion King and it might be a pretty big movie. So I was really shocked that this had happened, of course, but of course I was also happy because I almost could say to myself, oh, I've made it in life, I've made it in the acting career, I've made it where I want to have made it. So I was really proud of myself for that. But it was an amazing experience to get and to have, especially going to all of these places to record and all these things like Abbey Road Studios. That was amazing because they're such big recording studios in London that I got to record in and being able to record this song, the main song that got viral, that was really like great for me as well because it just showed that it made me feel as if I was succeeding, if you see what I mean, when at times I didn't feel that before because of comments I got from other people or things that had been said to me. But no, when I got this reassurance almost from the movie, it made me feel a lot better about myself.
Like validated. But I know you mentioned that your agent Kelly got you the job, but let's take a moment to applaud yourself because you got yourself the job, you know? Like, I mean, do you know how many other like young boys, young men auditioned for this role? Like, who are you up against?
I mean, I know it was a lot. I think it was upwards of the 100,000s because there was people, they started off in America because of course it was an American film. So they wanted to get someone in America who it was easier for them to come over and do recording in the area, if you see what I mean. Yeah. But they couldn't find anyone there and they came over to the UK, so they had to go for a few more people. So that's another thing that made me feel a lot more happy because it almost proved that I was at the time at the top of my game because I've surpassed all these other people. It I did have to try hard and everything, but I tried to be humble as well, because it wasn't just me through this whole experience. It was other people who helped me along the way.
And you know what I love about this story as well is obviously you were just saying before about your voice, when your voice changed and finding songs that fit your voice. And then there you are amongst hundreds, thousands of people, landing this part and singing the song that became, like, that is the song that everyone sings, I watched the movie. I didn't even know it was you, I found out later and I was like, oh my God, little Theo. Like, it's brilliant. But then so off the back of that, so you're on the movie, your voice is on the movie, you're going off to the States, right? Because this is a big movie. So I'm sure have you done Hollywood? Did you go to Hollywood?
I'd like to say I have, yeah.
But like, that is a big thing. So how did you find that as well? Like, literally leaving the UK, now it's like lights, camera, action, movie, star. That must have been a big culture shock.
I mean, it was overwhelming, but also it's the best experience I've ever had in my life. Like, it's the most fun thing I've ever done, going over to the States. I went over twice. The first time I went over for D23, so that's like promotion of the movie, and the second time I went over for the premiere. So it was an amazing experience. I would definitely do it again if I could. But before I went, we had a lot of training, so media training. It was a great experience, and it was also a hard experience because I had a lot of these things that I needed to do to be able to almost not muck up the film. And that was my biggest worry, that I'd say something that would give away the plot or give away something or give away my song. And I'd not only get criticised for it, but also everyone else, it would almost lower the people who watched it, because some people could go, oh, well, now I know the plot, now I know this, now I know that. So it is a bit of a burden, but no, I greatly enjoyed America. I love Beverly Hills. I want to live there when I'm older.
You might you might do. They might call you out there. But even hearing you say this, right, like, obviously, so how old were you when you went out to the States then? What was your age at that point?
15.
So
14, 14,
14, and you've got this, like, this pressure, I guess, to like you say, like, not mess up, not reveal something, not do a spoiler, not that's a lot of things for a 15-year-old boy to carry. How have you found, like, dealing with that? Do you have somebody out on the road with you that is there just, I guess, for, like, mental health, like making sure you're okay? Like, you're a youngster, you're a minor traveling away with the burdens and pressures. Was there help for you on the road?
I mean, I didn't get anyone to help me out, but I had my family behind me, so they helped me a lot. But I do feel like, especially for young actors, it should be looked at a bit more, that mental health and all these things, and just realizing that they're a child and there's things that they like to do, so people don't realize the pressure. Feel like you're going to lose so many great actors. No, I did have a lot of help from my family, but definitely there should be a bit more focus on children's mental health, especially in the acting industry.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting to hear, because even, as adults in industry, we hear of people suffering with mental health, whether it's from being on a really big job and then nothing. Where's the next job coming from? Like, there's that pressure. You're on a real high. So what happened? So after the movie, so you've done the movie, you've gone to Beverly Hills, you've gone to Hollywood, you're on a real high. What then happens after that? Are you then like, oh my God, what's next? Or do you need a moment just to reset and think of your next move?
Well, I said the thing with study, so I told my agent to just slow down with the jobs that she was giving me just so I could study. But also, I kept saying to my mum, I just want to be normal. Mum, I just want to be normal. Because you have so much pressure on you to be this person that you can't actually be yourself. You've got this almost this facade, and people say, oh, this is young Taka, he should act this way, and you try to act like the way people see you as. But sometimes I just want to be myself and I want to do things on my own. So I've had to take a break from that, because mainly, firstly, for my mental health, because the amount of pressure that's on me, to be this certain person, I lose out on a lot. So as I said, I lost out on a lot of trips. and also just friends. Like friends, people take granted of friends, but friends are like the thing that you need in life to make you feel better. And I lost out a lot because I just was never there at school. I was never really, I was seen as an outcast because I was doing all these different things, and people were like, oh, well, he's not normal. And yeah, I just went through a stage where I just really, really wanted to be normal because I lost out on a lot of things and I just couldn't be the person who I really was. So that was something that caused a bit of a problem for me as well, but I've managed to cope with it a lot more recently. But I'm still on that journey to being able to juggle both acting and also living a normal life, because it's not easy. But no, I'm nearly there.
Oh no, thank you for sharing that, Theo, because I think especially at like teenage years are like really informative years, and that's where like friendships get formed, and that's where you really start finding yourself. So to be in a position where you've kind of missed out on those things must be hard. I mean, especially as well now, like we're in the social media age where, you know, some people search for the validation online rather than with their outer friendship groups, you know, the real friendship groups. And I guess if you weren't able to have that circle really, did you kind of find yourself a lot like online or on social media, like to, I don't know, like spend time chatting to people online and stuff like that? How did that go for you?
I mean, I feel like at the start I wasn't happy with this decision from my mum, but now I realise the how big of and like helpful a decision it was. So the decision was my mum decided not to give me any social media. So I didn't. All I had was I had YouTube and WhatsApp. Those are the two things that I had on my phone, and I still do now. And hopefully I'll be getting them this summer because I'll be finishing my GCSEs and everything. But those are the two things she took away from me. She took away loads of different sites like Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, all those things I didn't have. So all these videos and these things getting posted from me, it's me and my mum. So my Instagram account and my TikTok account and all these things, they're managed by me and my mum, because she doesn't want me to be able to have such a big thing to do online without supervision, especially at my age. So I didn't really see many things that were put out online, but I got sent a few things through my friends, and I got sent like videos and all these different things and fan accounts and all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, I had a few things sent to me where people were like, oh, I could do this, all this stuff. And luckily, I feel like
they're not doing it though, are they?
Yeah. I feel like the impact would have been a lot worse if I had these things and I was just scrolling through everything on my phone, just looking at it. I feel like it was better that I only got sent a few through my friends, if you see what I mean, because I didn't have this site, which, don't get me wrong, social media is amazing. You can do loads of things on it, but it can also cause massive problems, especially in the youth. And yeah, I mean, I'm lucky to not have been able to see some of those things, because I feel like that would have made my mental health even worse if I saw some comments or stuff that was trying to almost belittle me. But no, my mum, at the start I was like, oh mum, just give it back, can I have all these things back? Because before, at the start, at around year 7 and 8, I did have these things. Right. But then when they got taken away, I lost a lot of contact with friends and other people and everything. But no, I really appreciate the decision that's made now, because it saved me from a lot of, almost, people could say it's a big word, but trauma. Because seeing all these things can make you feel really bad about yourself. So yeah.
Yeah, I think your mum absolutely did the right thing. I think, you know, being a mum myself, you want to make your kids happy, and if that is like, oh, please can I have a phone, or get, you know, but in your situation where it is so easy to like doom scroll and look through things and read the negative comments and get yourself into a hole about what people are saying, your mum absolutely did the right thing. I mean, what advice would you give to like any actors coming through with regards to, like, we talked about you having a thick skin, but there could be a thick skin, but there's always going to be something said that will get to you. Like, what would you say to anybody your age that's in the industry and maybe going through even a similar thing or reading stuff that's not very nice?
I could say that vulnerability isn't a bad thing. People see it as a bad thing, but if you've got just a thick skin and you don't listen to anything, it's all going to eventually pile up. It's like pressure, and you're going to explode at one point. And that's how a lot of actors end up falling out of the game, because they just go, oh, ignore it, but they're not actually ignoring it, they're just stuffing it deep down inside themselves. And that's when their mental health gets really bad, and sadly things happen like suicide and all these things. It's like, you need to be vulnerable, you need to have someone to talk to, but also you need to do things that you enjoy. And that's what I was saying about being normal, because I was doing all these things with acting, which of course I do enjoy, but I also had hobbies like football. Now I do basketball, which I enjoy a lot. And you need to be able to do these things, do something, hobbies that like just help you decompress, and just let it all out, if you see what I mean, instead of just holding it down. And I mean, people think that to be a good actor, you need to be on the job every single day, doing as hard as you can. But really, if you want to be a great actor, you need to be able to find time to do other things as well. And that's what I had to learn.
Live, isn't it? And live.
Yeah, because I pushed myself very hard at the start to be a great actor in the musical and all the stuff, and I wanted to be the best of the best. But after time, I realised that it's not going to work if I'm just focusing on this the whole time. And you've got to be able to put it aside and focus on something that you really enjoy, like your passion. And that's why I don't take away things like basketball and stuff. That's why I don't take away the thought of maybe I could be this when I'm older instead of acting, because even you got all this pressure on you, I still want other things that I want to do. So I still want to be a basketball player when I'm older, but but people still say to me like, oh, but you've got acting already, it's already in the bag, so why don't you do that? But I definitely do still want to do acting, but it's whether the things that you enjoy, you don't just put it behind you and go, no, I'm focusing on the thing that I'm good at. Well, that's what a lot of people said to me, it's your talent, why don't you keep doing it? But sometimes if you get overwhelmed with something, or you do too much of something, you go, well, I'm not really enjoying this anymore. And that's why I had to take a break out, because I was doing things that other people told me to do myself, but I wasn't doing the things that I wanted to do. So recently I have been thinking a lot more after GCSEs, I'll continue on with acting, because I have got that urge to do it more. But I feel like if you overdo anything, it's not great for you. And that's why I think you have to take breaks and you have to be vulnerable.
So, okay, once you've finished your GCSEs, what would be, let's say, the dream role? You finished GCSEs, you've got all grade 9s or 10s or whatever they're graded now, and your agent calls and says, Theo, we've got, what's the job? What's the one that you'd be like, yes?
Something that I've been wanting to do for ages is a Spider-Man movie, like Miles Morales. I love the movie so much, and I really enjoy watching them. I've watched Across the Spider-Verse and all this stuff over and over again, and I'd love to be able to work in a job like that, especially as Miles Morales, because I think that would be Theo. The peak for me.
Yeah. I see you, Miles Morales. Yes, I definitely see that. Well, you got to just keep putting it out there. You got to keep putting it out there and speak it into existence. So, in terms of advice for a young aspiring actor, what can you give me? Maybe two things that you would say, 2 bits of advice you would give to a young aspiring actor.
Well, firstly, it could seem like everyone says this, but it's true. Don't give up, because you may feel like you may go through all these things and your start may be slow, and you may not be able to get the parts that you want, or maybe you just don't have the right agent, or maybe you just don't have the right things that you need right now. But if you continue to work, you'll eventually get to it, and if you put all your heart into it, you're going to get what you want. So that's the first piece of advice I'd give. And secondly, it's something that I've already said, is don't give up on the things that you enjoy once you get there, because that's how your mental health gets really, really bad. And that's how you end up almost, as I said, falling off, and you end up just slowly like withering away. And that's how you end up becoming an actor who, say, is maybe someone who is a child star, and then they end up just disappearing because they've put so much work into one thing, but they haven't focused on other things. So I feel like you've got to don't give up on the things that you do mainly, and also don't forget about the past, what you've had before, so your family and your hobbies and all these different things.
Oh, that's such great advice. It really is, because I think that's what keeps you grounded, right? Like still doing your fun stuff. and finding that balance.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a lot of pressure then on like child actors to perform, or like, you know, being in a West End show and you have to like ding switch it on, and you know you might have had a really bad day at school, or I don't know, someone's bullied you at school and then you've got to be on stage and turn it on. Do you think there's a pressure for youngsters of, you know, in that realm?
So much pressure. Like the pressure is immense that you go through, especially as a child actor, because you're in that game, they almost treat you like you're an adult. And of course you've got all these things like the hours that you can work for legally, but you're still treated as if you're an adult in that space. And I feel like that's not looked at massively. So yeah, I feel like you miss out on a lot of things, and being a child actor, you got loads and loads of pressure on you to do this and do that. Like I was doing many shows a week, and these shows, it was like an hour that I'd be doing of like singing and acting a day, and I'd have hard times at school. So I had a few conflicts with other people. I had problems at school, people like maybe picking on me, and it wasn't great. And then I'd have to leave school halfway through with this mindset that people don't really like me, and then having to come on stage and perform for people on stage, and almost suppress those things and say, oh, well, these people have come here, they've paid to watch me today, I need to put on a show for them, because I don't want to let them down, if you see what I mean. And that's also something that I feel like a lot of people go through, because you, as a child actor, you want to get there, but you want to be able to put on a show for people. And if you can't do that, you feel bad for yourself. And if you're going through all these problems, maybe at home, if you've got problems at home or you've got problems at school, there's a lot of pressure on you to just forget about all of that stuff and just perform because it's your job, if you see what I mean. So I feel like children have got too much pressure on them, and maybe some of it should be brought back, and maybe you should have some, especially in the acting industry, maybe talks should happen with child actors, maybe in the space you are, or all these different things that could actually help them out and make them feel a lot better.
Obviously, you're doing GCSEs right now. When you do go back into like acting full time or whatever, what would you say that you've learned from your previous experience that you will take with you going into the acting space again?
I mean, definitely, if I do end up getting to such a high place again, I'd take my family along with me again, because they help a lot. They end up making me feel better about myself, and they help me mainly feel like I'm not on the job, if you see what I mean. Especially if you're in another country, if you have your family there with you, and you got free time. If you're on your own, or you've just got a chaperone who you don't really know, it's a bit like isolating, and you just keep to yourself. Whereas if you bring your family along with you, I feel like it just feels like a normal holiday, and that's what I loved about going to America. So that's one of the things I would definitely do, which is make sure to bring my family along again on the journey with me. Also, I wouldn't give up the things that I already do. So I'd make sure to stay doing the things that I already have done, and even if there's a problem where maybe I have to stop a few things, I'll make sure to continue with the things I can, because that will help me eventually with my mental health. And also, I'd make sure to continue like just chilling with friends. Like I said, the importance of friends, it's like they're so important. And I'd make sure to continue speaking to my friends, whether that be over text or in person, and just spending time with humans. I feel like spending time with humans and not being isolated on your own. It just makes you feel like it's not just like this fantasy world that you're in, but you're actually in real life, but you've got those people with you. And I feel like interacting with other people is a main thing that I'd continue to do, and try to do more than I did last time, because even though I did have people to interact with, I kept myself to myself, and that ended up making me struggle a bit more. And I feel like if I made more friends along the way and took people along with me, I feel like it would be a lot easier and a better experience than keeping to myself and making sure that I'm the best I can be, but not focusing on these other things.
Right. No, I think that's great advice. I think having your family there keeps you grounded, having friends there with you, like to hang out with and take you away from what you're doing and just having that downtime. I think that's really, really good advice. Theo, honestly, thank you so much for sharing all of your experiences with us here at the Sammy Arts Collective. I really appreciate you opening up to us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Stronger Self podcast, hosted by Martay McKenzie and produced by Sammy Arts Collective, filmed and edited by T Films. The Stronger Self podcast is part of Sammy Arts Collective's Creative Futures programme and created in collaboration with T Films. Find us on social media at Sammy Arts Collective.